The story opens by introducing a young boy. Let's just call him Puek, is standing in front of his classmates, sharing about his family life. He lives alone with his mother, who works as a drug dealer. Despite her terrible profession, the way she treats her son is exceptionally loving. She never yells at him, never hits him, and always supports him in whatever he does. Puek's mother is fully committed to her responsibilities, making sure he gets a proper education even though they live in a tough neighborhood. And this is Puek, 10 years later, now a college student living all alone, forced to survive on his own after his mother was sent to prison because a neighbor turned her in. Growing up in a tough environment, Puek lost his mother when she passed away behind bars. With no one left in his life, Puek has to stay mentally strong, ignoring all the distractions and temptations around him, focused on his dream to create a better life in the future. Before heading to class, Puek stops by a small shop to buy some cold milk, when plot twistum genius decides to start insulting him. Puek actually manages to hold it together. Impressive, right? But then the guy starts talking trash about Puek's dead mother. Bad move. Cue Puek's girlfriend, rushing in to break things up, probably regretting all her life choices up to this point. And just as they're about to leave, the loudmouth drops one more bomb claiming Puek's mom was a twerk queen in bed. Charming. Absolutely charming. Puek's had enough. And that, kids, is what they mean by "in youth we trust," or maybe "in rage we trust." Whatever. Long story short, Puek gets slapped with a 10-year prison sentence. You do the crime, you do the time. Yes, this is where Puek now sits, handcuffed inside the prison transport van that will take him to the juvenile correctional facility. Along with him is a young man named Andre, a fellow who happens to be gay and is currently facing a drug case after being set up by his own best friend. Upon arriving at the prison, Puek and Andre are immediately brought before the warden, a man infamous for his fierce and uncompromising nature. His attitude toward Puek and Andre becomes even harsher when he discovers that they come from a neighborhood notorious for constant criminal activity. You see, Puek's hometown is known for causing all sorts of trouble, with crimes ranging from gang violence, dangerous street gangs, drugs, muggings, kidnappings, even prostitution. Because this prison is entirely filled with gang members, Puek will be sent to a cell block occupied by a gang from a different neighborhood, so he won't have any friends from his own block. And now, meet Beer, the boss of another local gang who rules over Block B. From this moment on, Puek and Andre will be taken under the control of Beer and his right-hand man, who plan to train them and recruit them into their group. The very first thing Beer does is ask Puek to remove the bracelet given to him by his mother, but that's not all. Puek is also forced to take off his pants, and then he's made to shave his head completely bald, so bald in fact that it looks a bit funny. Not only Puek, but Andre is up next. It's important to note that Andre is, quite frankly, a bit effeminate, and is known for regularly taking care of himself from head to toe. So it's no surprise when he bursts into tears as Beer's right-hand man chops off his beautiful, well-kept hair. Long story short, night falls in Block B, with all the inmates gathered together in one large cell. While Puek and Andre are sleeping soundly, they are suddenly awakened by Beer's right-hand man, who has been ordered by Beer to bring the two of them before him. Because Andre is too weak to refuse, he reluctantly gives in when he is forced to face Beer and do something for him. I'm sure you can already guess what Andre is forced to do for Beer. Yes, Andre is pressured into satisfying Beer, in a way that doesn't need to be explained in detail here. I'm pretty sure you all understand what that means. Even though Andre tries to refuse, wanting to hold on to his dignity, he really has no choice. If he doesn't comply, he's threatened with being passed around by all the inmates in the block. While all this is happening, Beer sends his right-hand man to teach Puek a lesson for being too good at sleeping. Puek gets the VIP treatment, a full beatdown from every single Block A inmate. The next day, Beer and his crew are seen having lunch in the prison cafeteria because even psychos need carbs. Each block eats together, and we finally get a look at Block B, led by a guy named Alex and his deputy, Farang. A little later, Puek staggers in to grab his food, face looking like he went 12 rounds with a lawnmower. As he's searching for a place to sit, Beer's right-hand man strolls over and, without warning, kicks Puek's tray across the room. Puek is absolutely done with everyone's crap, but he swallows his anger and quietly picks up his plate. Farang, the deputy of Block B, can't help but feel sorry for Puek watching him get treated like an animal in front of everyone. But Alex, the block's top dog, tells Farang to stay out of it. Not our circus, not our monkeys. Classic leadership. An hour later, Puek is trying to get clean in the shower's big mistake. Beer and his crew show up because apparently extortion is their favorite group activity. Beer announces that showers aren't free, and Puek needs to pay up. No cash? No problem. Beer says Puek can just kneel in front of him. Yeah, nothing humiliating about that. Puek kneels, fists clenched behind his back, eyes burning holes through Beer, and what does Beer do? Takes off his sandal and lands a solid kick to Puek's gut, sending him crashing to the floor, because dignity is obviously banned in this place. Not satisfied, Beer tells the new guy Andre, the ladyboy, to deliver the second kick. Andre refuses. Honestly, the only humane one here. So Beer does what Beer does best, turns his fists on Andre. Rather than get beat again, Andre finally gives in, delivering a sad, half-hearted kick to Puek's chest. Beer, not exactly coach of the year, gets mad and slaps Andre for not putting his heart into it. Next, Beer's right-hand man steps up, stretching like he's about to perform at the Olympics, and mocks that Puek's about to call for his mom. Bad move. Hearing the word mom, Puek's rage boils over. He blocks the kick with his hand, something nobody saw coming. Soon after, Puek is left unconscious on the floor. Cue the trauma flashback. He dreams of his youth fighting in a teen boxing tournament, only to get knocked out by a much tougher opponent. Puek heads home and gets patched up by his late mother. She tells him to quit boxing before it destroys him for good solid parenting advice, but you know, bills don't pay themselves. Puek says if he doesn't fight, they'll have nothing to eat. He promises he'll find a way to make his mom happy, no matter what it takes. And just like that, we snap back to reality. Puek still lying unconscious on the shower floor, a real inspiration to aspiring inmates everywhere. The head warden decides to help by dumping water on Puek. Not exactly Florence Nightingale, but hey, it works. The warden tells Puek to hurry up and line up outside. Apparently, the rest of the inmates have already gathered for roll call. As soon as the warden leaves, Andre appears and offers Puek an orange. Andre apologizes for kicking him earlier, just following Beer's orders. Puek gets it. No hard feelings. Andre heads off to the yard, leaving Puek to savor the world's saddest orange. When they reach the yard, Beer immediately attacks Andre for helping Puek. Andre takes a beating again. But Puek steps up and challenges Beer to a duel, because apparently, getting knocked out is now his favorite hobby. Just as the fight is about to go full WWE, Farang, the deputy of Block B, jumps in and tells Beer to chill. Farang argues that Puek is already a mess, so fighting him is pointless. Instead, Farang volunteers to duel Beer himself. The stakes? If Farang wins, Puek and Andre move to Block B. Right then, Alex, the head of Block B, steps forward, tells Farang to stand aside, and makes a deal. He'll take Puek off Beer's hands, just not Andre. Beer accepts, probably because he's too scared to fight Alex one-on-one. That night, Puek finally gets to sleep in Block B. Before long, Alex and Farang drop by, asking why he isn't asleep yet. Puek, in classic fashion, asks why they even bothered to help him. Alex shrugs it off, He can't stand seeing someone get tortured every day. Andri, meanwhile, will be safe as long as he keeps doing Beer's dirty work. Puek is grateful and swears loyalty to Alex and Farang. Alex tells Puek to get some Restiel, patch up Puek's face in the morning. Meanwhile, on the other side of this lovely correctional facility, Beer is busy tormenting Andri because apparently no isn't a word in Beer's vocabulary. When Andri refuses to do Beer's bidding, Beer orders him to sleep without a mattress, like an animal. Charming leadership skills, Beer. Meanwhile, Puek is getting closer to Alex and Farang, two guys who actually believe in something called friendship. Both are decent leaders with real team spirit, which in this place is rarer than good hygiene. Beer, on the other hand, is the complete opposite, cruel, manipulative, and about as humane as a rabid dog. A few days later, Puek finally gets a visit from his girlfriend. He's over the moon until she drops the bomb. She's being forced into an arranged marriage with another guy. It's her parents' decision, she says, and she can't wait around forever for a man with a 10-year sentence. Puek begs her not to go, but, well, this isn't exactly a rom-com. Later, Alex is also visited by his father, who is deeply worried about his son's fate after spending 2 years locked away in prison. The father's true purpose is to share his hopes for Alex's future once he gets out of prison. He wants Alex to leave their hometown and work properly at his aunt's place in another city. At the same time, Farang is suddenly attacked by Beer and his 3 henchmen. Puek, who happens to witness the scene, immediately rushes in to help. It doesn't take long before the guards order everyone to get down on the ground. Alex, who has just finished meeting his father, also drops to the ground with the others. With Beer still curious and wanting to challenge their group, they all agree to set a time and date for a showdown to settle things once and for all. That night, Andri is trying to sleep when Beer's right-hand man wakes him up because apparently some people in this prison really don't believe in boundaries. Andri is forced to serve the right-hand man in front of the other inmates. But Andri, knowing his own worth, refuses she's no cheap ladyboy. Unfortunately, Beer's right hand is persistent, pushing things way past any line of decency. And in this prison, well, this kind of horror happens way more often than it should. It doesn't end there. The right-hand man even invites the other inmates to join in. By the end, Andri is left broken, used, and alone. Humanity officially left the building. The next scene, Andri lies there, barely moving. Then Beer, his right hand, and another goon show up, this time with a box cutter. What are they up to? Nothing good. They grind the blade into powder. Cut to the next day. Everyone's in the prison cafeteria. Alex and his crew are sharing food as usual, acting like the only decent people in the joint. Suddenly, Andri approaches Puek and grabs his meal, eating like he's starving. Puek asks what's going on. But then Andri grabs his throat and starts vomiting blood. Alex sees what's happening and instantly knows this is Beer's handiwork. He tells Puek not to bother helping, there's no saving Andri now. Turns out, Beer put powdered box cutter blade in Andri's mouth, shredding his throat and insides. Puek is consumed by rage and storms over to Beer's table, ready to kill. Farang manages to hold him back. Alex arrives and declares that Beer only targets the weak, and he's had enough. He challenges Beer to move up their war to Friday instead of Saturday. Beer, never one to turn down carnage, happily agrees. The next day, Friday, the tension in the air is thick enough to cut with a knife. Alex and his crew are showering, Puek still brooding. Alex asks if Puek is still mad about Andri's death. Of course she saw Andri as a brother. Alex tells him, today's the day for payback. Let the prison war begin. By midday, Alex and his crew are waiting on the prison yard, itching for payback. They can't wait to put an end to Beer's reign of terror, good old-fashioned brawl at a time. Beer and his goons show up, everyone squares off, and the rumble begins. No more words, just fists, chaos, and prison justice. For a moment, it looks like Alex's crew is actually winning, but of course Beer isn't about to lose fairly. He goes full villain pulls, a dirty move, and manages to stab Alex in the gut a few times. Because, apparently, sportsmanship doesn't exist here. Before the fight turns into a full-blown massacre, the guards show up, blowing whistles and barking orders. Everyone drops to the ground like they're in some kind of synchronized swimming event. The head warden makes his rounds, whacking a few unlucky souls with a baton, and threatens to tack on another 10 years for anyone who tries this again. That night, Block B tries to get some sleep. Farang notices that Alex is bundled up under a blanket strange, given it's hotter than hell in there. Puek, lying next to Alex, checks and finds him burning up with fever. When he lifts the blanket, he discovers the stab wounds are way worse than anyone thought. Farang wakes everyone, asking if anyone has medicine. Puek desperately tries to tend to the wound, but it's hopeless. All he can do is scream for the guards, praying someone will actually care. No one comes. Not a single guard. Alex, realizing he's done for, tells Puek to stop yelling it's pointless. He asks everyone to go back to sleep. Puek, not ready to say goodbye, begs Alex to hold on. Alex just smiles, she knows it's his last night. All he wants is for Puek and Farang to avenge him because Beer did this. Alex asks them to stay with him for his final moments. And so, in the middle of a hellhole, Alex dies in the arms of his friends. The next morning, Puek and Farang find Beer in the showers. They waste no time beating up anyone who tries to get in their way. Smug as ever, taunts them. What, you two come alone? Is Alex pushing up daisies yet? Seething with rage, challenges Beer to a one-on-one fight no rules to the death. Beer is all too happy to accept, but insists they use knives, and do it that afternoon in the prison toilets. Classic. Soon after, Puek is seen sharpening his knife with Farang by his side. Farang asks why Puek wants a duel instead of another brawl. Puek explains, in a big fight, the guards will break it up before it's over. But a duel? That's his best shot at finally ending Beer. Fast forward to the afternoon. Puek, Farang, and their crew wait in the toilet for Beer and his gang. When they arrive, Farang lays down the rules-only Puek and Beer fight. Everyone else just watches. Beer, always up for a show, agrees. The duel begins. In the middle of the knife duel, Puek takes a slash to his arm, but years of boxing training kick in, and he flips the fight, turning Beer from top dog to sitting duck. Puek keeps pressing, wearing Beer down as every inmate watches, barely breathing. Beer's right-hand man almost jumps in to help. But Farang steps up, reminding everyone about the deal: no interference, no cheating. Puek doesn't waste his chance. He locks Beer in a chokehold and squeezes the life out of him. Just another day at the world's worst spa. As soon as Beer drops, the guards storm in, losing their minds, batons flying, inmates getting a free sample of justice. Everyone's rounded up, no questions asked. After being locked up for almost 3 hours, the warden finally shows up, carrying the heavy club he usually uses to punish troublemakers. But surprisingly, the warden also brings 2 packets of rice for them to eat, saying he just wants to have a private conversation with the 2 of them, no guards, just the 3 of them in the room. Since Puek and Farang are already too tired to explain the whole story again, the warden can only sigh deeply, clearly exhausted from having to deal with inmates like them. With the harsh reality that 3 people have already died in this prison, the warden decides to transfer them to a different zone in another prison, hoping that maybe, just maybe, things will get better for the 2 of them. Instead of finding a better prison environment, Puek ends up in a facility that's even stricter and far more brutal. In fact, the warden there welcomes Puek with nothing but pain. Like it or not, Puek now has to figure out how to survive and adapt to his new reality inside this merciless prison. So, what's the moral of the story? Simple. Be nice. Get kicked in the face. Trust people, get stabbed. Try to help? Congratulations, you're the next victim. Honestly, if you're still looking for inspiration after all this, you must be new here. In Puek's world, hope is just another word for target. But hey, maybe you like pain. Maybe you're the kind of person who binge watches prison dramas so your own life feels less pathetic. If so, do yourself a favor, subscribe. Misery loves company. Or don't subscribe. Stay out there, pretending you're better than these lunatics. We both know you'll be back. Everyone always comes back for a little more chaos. Anyway, this is Max, reminding you, in this world, fairy tales are just bedtime stories for idiots. See you at the next disaster.